Okay, we left off on page 30. We finished Mishna Berura on Yudalit. There's a very important Be'alocha. The Mechaber says that if a person puts on his talis and he takes it off during davening, let's say to go out to the bathroom for any reason, and even if he has in mind when he takes it off to put it back on, when he puts it back on, he has to say bracha. That's the Mechaber. Ramos says no. Ramos says that as long as when he takes it off, he has in mind that he's going to put it back on, when he puts it back on, he does not have to say a bracha. That's the Ramo. And then the Ramo brings in another Yesh Omrim, that's only if he's wearing a talis koton. If he has in mind when he takes it off, if he's still attached to the mitzvah by wearing talis koton, then we consider it a continuation. But if he's not even wearing a talis koton, he totally detaches from the mitzvah totally, then even if he has in mind to put it back on, he has to say a bracha. So although the Ramo says, and that is the minog, the Mishna Berura says, the Achronim rule, no. That as long as you have in mind, even if you're not wearing a talis cotton, if you take off your talis and you have in mind to put it back on, one does not have to say another bracha. So we have an argument. The Mechaber says you do have to say another bracha, and the Ramos says you do not have to say another bracha. It comes up very often. The person has to go out, especially at Shabbos, Yom Tif, Rosh Hashanah. It's a very long davening. It's inevitable. You have to go out. You go out and have your kiddush break, right? People take off the talis. So now when you put it back on, do you say a bracha? So according to the Mechaber, you would. According to the Ramah, as long as you have in mind you're going to put it back on, you don't have to. If you go home, it's something else. Person, they have an hour break, they go home for the break and they come back, that's already, it's a hefsek, regardless of what you have in mind. Okay, so over here there's a Be'er Aloch who shows that even according to the Mechaber, that if you have the right thing in mind, one does not have to say another bracha. Which means it will explain that, let's say initially when you put it on, and you said the original bracha, you had in mind that if I should take it off, I will put it back on. Even the Mechaber agrees that you do not have to say another bracha. It's only if initially he had in mind to put it on, to wear it continuously, and something comes up, and now he has to take it off. Only then is it considered an interruption. But if initially he had in mind that he will take it off and put it back on, so the original bracha he had in mind affects the putting it back on, therefore he's not required to say another bracha. Even he suggests, according to the Mechaber, if you're a Sephardi, you should have in mind initially that if theoretically, for some reason, it should come up that you have to take it off, you have in mind you're going to put it back on, and as a result of that, you would not have to say another bracha.
Whether you have a talis koton on or not.
Mechaber doesn't speak talis koton. It's irrelevant according to Mechaber, whether you talis koton or not talis koton. Okay? We're talking about going out to the bathroom for any reason.
Situation, you have a son who's not married, it's called up to the hospital, so you give him talis.
So we discussed that many. That's covered at Tzibor. No. That's covered at Tzibor.
Okay, so he doesn't say bracha.
No.
And you do not have to say bracha when you get the talis back.
Right? That would come up. If you take off your talis to give somebody to get an aliyah. According to Mechaber, you'd have to say another bracha. According to Ramo, you don't have to say another bracha. Okay? Right. Habitual. Well, what does that have to do with habitual?
Every single Shabbos you go to Kiddush, and you have to have in mind, you're taking off everything. It's part of the davening. Part of what you do.
No, there's no question. No, there's no question. When you take off your talis, go to the bathroom, you plan to come back. So you'd have to consciously think about it. It's understood. That's understood. Right? But let's say a person takes over, he gets a call, a person's a doctor or a Hatzalah person, gets a call, and he believes he's not coming back. And then at the last moment they tell him, you're not needed. And he puts it back on, he has to say bracha. Even the Ramah agrees to that. Because when he took it off not to put it back on. Right? It's not a question. It's like the Gemara says in Brachos, that if a person has in mind to drink one glass of wine, not more than one glass, and then afterwards he drinks one, he has a change of heart, he's going to have another glass, he has another B'Priya Gofen on the second glass of wine. Why? Because initially the bracha only had in mind to cover one glass, not more than one glass. And any food. But it has to be certain you're not going to have more than that. So a glass of wine, wine has special value. And if wine is special, one glass means not more than one glass.
So would you say, is that part of the halachic background to the Seder? In other words, we have 4 separate cups. They definitely have sakes, right? Because there is a difference in the seder. But
Mechaber,
you
the
drink
shul.
a cup, you drink, I mean, you just drink one cup.
Wait. Mechaber says you say one bracha. The bird cup and the kiddush cup's the second cup, right? So why? So what are they arguing? Factually, no. But you know, when you say bird cup on the kiddush, you know you will drink a second cup before you wash. So if you know, it's just like you know you're going to drink a second cup. Yeah, Ashkenazim, we have to say a second bracha. Mechaber says no. It's purely it's a birchas hanenin. It's like drinking 2 cups of wine. You drink one, you have a mind, you can drink a second. You're not required to say another bracha. But we say Bar Priya Gofen every cup we drink. Because we hold, the Ashkenazim, we go according to Tosas, each cup corresponds to one of the, this week, Lashonei Agula, right? Dalushan. So to give it special value, each cup is identified with Bar Priya Gofen. So it's more than just a Birchas Hanenin. If we purely Birchas Hanenin, because you're not permitted to benefit from the wine through drinking, one bracha would cover all the cups. But because we want to give it that special recognition that it's unique, it corresponds to one of the Lashonei Gula, that's the reason why we say bracha. Mechaber argues with this. Because the others, they argue with Tosas, no. It's purely a birchas hanenin. So based on the principle of benefit drinking, as long as you know you're going to drink another cup, one bar per cup covers both cups. So there's no reason it would be a bracha levatola. According to the Mechaber, it would be a bracha levatola if you say a bracha on the second cup of wine. Because you know factually, they could say L'Shem Yichud. Not it's a mitzvah. It's there. Everybody agrees they correspond to the Dal Lashonei Gula. Nobody disagrees on that, right? So good. So Yishem Yichud. I'm doing it for that, whatever it may be. It's a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to drink 4 cups of wine. Nobody's arguing. The Bar Priya Gofen is a birchas hanenin halacha. We discussed many times. Let's say a person eats a meal right before Shabbos. So it's a Gemara. It's a Gemara in every Psachim. You have a banquet right before Shabbos, and you started it before Chatzos, because you're not supposed to begin a special like Suda after Chatzos, Erev Shabbos. Right? And it extends itself. And all of a sudden it comes to a time, you daven Kabbalah Shabbos in the middle of the Suda. You didn't bench yet. And you drank wine during the Suda. Now you're going to say Kiddush. You have to say Kiddush. You have to cover the bread, you say Kiddush. So this meal is you're going to shift into the Friday night meal. You say Kiddush. Do you say Bar Priya Gofen? Don't you say Bar Priya Gofen? What would you say, Ernie? The halacha is you don't say Bar Priya Gofen. Why? Again, because why do we say Bar Priya Gofen on the cup of wine in Kiddush? It's not an integral part of Kiddush. Because there's a halacha, the cup of wine you say Kiddush on, you're supposed to drink the cup. But you're not permitted to drink unless you say Bar Priya Gofen. So since over here he had in mind, when he drank the wine before Shabbos, that he was going to continue, whatever it is, right? So therefore there's no reason to say Bar Priya Gofen, because the original Bar Priya Gofen, when he drank the wine before Shabbos, that Bar Priya Gofen covers the wine of the Kiddush wine. Right? Why do you have to drink the cup of wine? Let's say you hear Kiddush, right? I say, and you hear, why you Yotzei? Shemei Kona. So if Shemei Kona, why don't you, and you don't drink, are you Yotzei? Yes. Why Yotzei? You didn't drink the wine. What? No, it's not a ravis. No. If the halacha is you have to drink wine, a ravis doesn't cover that. I can't put on tefillin for you, right? Because there's a halacha. The cup of wine that Kiddush was set on has to be drunk. That's the halacha. It has, but if it has to be drunk, but how could you drink unless you say Bar Priya Gofen? So somehow, if I'm able to address the Bar Priya Gofen some other way, right? It's not a problem, right? Because it's purely because you're not permitted to drink unless you say a bracha. So if I'm covered for some other reason with the Bar Priya Gofen because I drank wine before the meal, before Shabbos, and I had in mind we're going to continue, so that Bar Priya Gofen covered the Kiddush wine. So you have no reason to say Bar Priya Gofen.
So technically, at the table, at the Shabbos table, when you make Kiddush for all your guests, they don't have to drink any wine at all.
They don't. The Yotzei. It's better they should participate. But outside of that, the Yotzei 100%. Yeah, but if they don't drink that wine and they want to drink wine during the meal, they have to say Bar Priya Gofen. Because the Bar Priya Gofen never affected them. If they drink some of the wine, so they already drank wine. So that Bar Priya Gofen will allow them to continue drinking during the meal. Yeah. What again?
If somebody's saying Kiddush for you, and you don't drink the wine, his bracha is not your bracha?
Definitely not. What is he saying, Bar Priya Gofen? So he should be able to drink the wine. It's good. So he drank the wine. It has nothing to do with me.
They're yotzi the kiddush.
The Kiddush they know it's-
Kids, you're not yotzi because you're not required to drink the wine. Somebody has to drink. What happens if the person's not able to drink? The one that says kiddush. It's a b'diavad. As long as somebody drinks it, yotzi kiddush, even the one who said the kiddush. Right? Because the cup has to be drunk. It doesn't have to be continued.